In this video, we are joined by Mr. Theme Park Wizard. We're talking Universal's Minion Blast. We're going to dive into Super Nintendo World. We're also going to talk about crazy Disney people. We have a lot to discuss in today's video. Mr. Theme Park Wizard, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
to all who come to this happy place,
welcome to Orange Grove 55.
Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG 55. I am joined today by Ethan, Mr. Theme Park Wizard. We're talking all kinds of stuff. Like I said, Minion Blast, crazy Disney people. We're talking about all of it. Before we do that, Ethan, if you can let everybody home know where they can find you on social media, my friend.
You can find me on YouTube at Theme Park Wizard, on Instagram at theme_park_wizard, on Twitter at theme_wizard, and check out all my holiday merchandise at themeparkwizard.shop.
Yes. Check him out on all his socials. Check him out at his shop. I love Theme Park Wizard, and I love his content. If you are a Universal fan, you have got to check out his YouTube channel. He gets a lot of scoops. He does a lot of great, like, on the ground, boots on the ground kind of stuff, like at Universal with construction work and all that. Really, really great content. Give him all the love and subscribe to his channel. So without further ado, let's dive into today's topics. First thing on the list, let's go ahead and talk about Minion Blast. So now you're much more knowledgeable, honestly, Ethan, about Universal than I am. I mean, I'm not as well versed in Universal, and especially Universal Orlando. If you can kind of set the table, what is Minion Blast exactly?
So Minion Blast is a moving walkway attraction. It's like whatchamacallit. So it's based on Villain Con, which is from the Minions movies, and what you'll be doing, it's almost like say Midway Mania without the ride. No, it's almost like Buzz Lightyear without the ride vehicle, because there'll be physical props, and you'll get blasters, and then you'll be scooting along on this moving walkway. It looks like one of those luggage cart things, and you'll be competing to scoring to see who can become part of the Vicious Six, which is the villain group. Part of the Minions too. They were gonna have it as a walkthrough attraction, but then they didn't want people to stay, in one station or one game for too long, so to push them along, that's when they changed it to a moving walkway attraction. And I looked in this company. Not only do they do, luggage for the thing for the luggage, but they also have the same system implemented in aquariums. They have those glass tunnels with the sharks and everything you go through. Instead of escalators, they sometimes up these moving walkways, and be just like that, a slow moving walkway moving you from station or game to game as you go through this Villain Con, which is actually in Orlando, which is so funny.
That is interesting. And so there's no ride. Technically, there's no ride vehicle. You're on this kind of conveyor belt, and it's kind of moving you along. And as you're being moved along, you're shooting at stuff. Now, are you the bad guys? Are you shooting at minions?
So I feel so like we're like mini Grooves. We're like Gru goes to Villain Con, and you're like, I guess, shooting. I guess we are the bad guys. We won't be shooting at minions, but because the minions are also here to help us, because they're like bad guys. That's their thing. But there'll be, I don't know, some kind of, each game will be like testing you to see if you're a best villain type of ordeal. So you'll be shooting at something, and then maybe the minions will probably be holding up little targets, and you're probably like shooting things, like the Z's on Buzz Lightyear. And then at the conveyor belt, I'm not sure if I think it's gonna, like, I don't know, because I don't know how. I think it might go so slowly that it keeps moving and you shoot, or it might go and then stop for a certain amount of time to give you time to play the game, then move again, type of thing. But the good thing is that this should have no height requirement, so therefore anyone can go on it, which is something Universal's lacking.
Yeah, they have an issue with some of that stuff, like with height requirements and what have you, because they like kind of overdo it, right? With like the lap bars and the straps ins and the. So you're just standing there, so anybody can do this. That's kind of interesting.
Which is next to Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, which does have a height requirement. So that means anybody should be able to go, like baby should be able to go on this thing.
That's cool.
Which is great. Which is, you know, and I find it funny. the people on Twitter. I don't know if it's not necessarily any Disney people, but it's funny. They're like, I saw was a meme that said everybody colon Universal make a ride that everyone can go on with no height requirement, and then they said Universal announces VillainCon. And then everyone's like, everyone, no, not that one.
no, not that. Yeah, no. It's funny. I saw a lot of people kind of talking shit about the Minion Blast, and here's my thing on it is like, I'm not a big fan of the Minions franchise. I'm really not, but I think this is a really cute concept, and I think this is kind of a unique one too, right? With the moving walkways and all that, it's different. It's something that we really haven't seen before. I think it's going to be highly successful. I really do. I think kids and families are going to love it.
Everybody can do, and it creates, because it's next to the Despicable Me, a little Minion land with a new Minion cafe over there. So it'll be a nice little Minion land, which they have in a lot of the other parks. So I think it's going to be a nice little area, a little illumination area like we have over here and they have over in the international ones. I think people are going to, especially children, are going to love it. And I obviously think it's geared towards the children because, you know, especially ones that can't go on other bigger things, which is great.
So this ride is going in Universal Studios Orlando, not Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, this is going to Universal Studios Florida, replacing Shrek 4D, which is like right across from Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Then next to it was the Monsters Cafe, which is being the Minion Cafe. And then so Minion Cafe, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, and then right across the street, the Minion Blast. So we have a little Minion corner.
Interesting. Okay.
All the Minion and friends needs.
Interesting. Now, our brother, our good friend, our producer, the wonderful Mr. Vast Guy, Dr. Dre. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today, but he did have a question for you, and I think it's an interesting one. And I wanted to ask you this. Now, this is from Vast Sky. Now, Jim Shull, who's an Imagineer or a former Imagineer, apparently worked. I'm sorry.
That he posts a lot on Twitter.
He's on Twitter quite a bit, and he's very connected to Disney. But what I'm hearing is that I guess he worked on this Minion Blast attraction. Is that true?
Yeah, I saw his Twitter, and he's like, "Man, he's like, Universal announced his VillainCon attraction that I'm proud to have worked on. I don't know what he did on it, but let me see if I can find the tweet. But yeah, he worked on it. I was kind of surprised by that too. Because I thought he was retired. I know he's working at all.
I thought he was retired too. That's why I'm a little bit okay.
So when he said this, I was looking at the tweet. I was like, "Wow, that's surprising," because I didn't realize because I know he said he's worked on those various posts. He said he's worked on other Universal attractions like a long time ago.
Weird.
But yeah, then I saw like VillainCon or Villain Blast. I was like, wow. Oh yeah, here it is. Hold on. Let's see where did it share screen to Twitter. Boom. See, the NDA I signed for the Minion Blast ride announced for Universal is still in effect. This artwork, presentation decks, and notes continue to be open. So yes, he worked on some of the artwork and presentation decks, but I guess mainly the artwork, which is pretty cool.
See, that's interesting. And it says here in his bio right across, you can see here, it says Imagineer for 33 years. Views and opinions expressed are not those, or are those of the author, not associated with the Walt Disney Company. Mm-hmm. So that bio sort of implies he still works at Disney.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Imagine year
right,
4, like it's still going.
like it's still
Ah,
going, but yet he's worked on this. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know. Like, can they do that? Can they go back and forth while he's working for Imagineering? That's number one. I don't know. And number two, is this like in your opinion? I mean, because you follow Universal very closely, is this like a trend we're seeing where Imagineers are kind of jumping ship and going to Uni
yeah.
Creative?
Well, I know. That's crazy. I'm not sure if you can. I didn't know you're allowed to work on both. That is kind of weird. I know like construction crews, particularly, go from park to park only because the construction guy that was on Super Nintendo World that I was talking to, now he's over at Disneyland working on, I think, the Treehouse because his work at Nintendo's done. But
Okay.
imagine a person switch over like that. Very interesting.
So, so
Um,
it seems like it kind of goes both ways, right? Like what you're saying is
yeah,
this guy from Nintendo World, his contract's up, so he goes over to the Swiss Family Robinson, the
yeah,
Treehouse makeover, and Jim Shaw's going over to Universal to work on this Minion Blast. It seems
yeah.
like maybe kind of do this cross pollination thing. It's pretty common, I guess. I don't know.
I do know that what you call it, when the Lake Nona thing happened, or was threatening him, and all those Imagineers were retiring or leaving. I know a lot of them did go to Universal Creative, or tried to, and or retired. Um, and I did know that um, other Imagineers that left for whatever reason over the years, they popped over to Universal Creative for whatever reason or whatever not reason. I'm not sure why, but I do know that it seems to happen quite a bit. And I'm sure people from Creative go to Imagineering too. I
Right.
just don't see it.
Like
But
like
yeah, it's
like
basically,
Scott Trowbridge worked
yeah,
on the Universal Spider-Man ride, came over and
mhm,
did Galaxy's Edge
yeah.
for
So I feel like,
Disney.
yeah, I feel like almost like the Twitter, almost like a lot of things. There are such, such small communities that I feel like everyone knows each other, and then
Yeah.
they just keep switching over. Like even here, where I obviously work with LAUSD, but I kind of switched over to the construction side. Like everyone knows each other, and everyone just goes from department to downtown to here to the valley, and they all just get promoted and retire, and they all just go in these circles, and they go to these conferences. And I was talking to my supervisor. She said the conferences. She said it's like the same 30 people you see all the time because it's just like such a small like group. I feel like maybe that's what's going on here with the Imagineers and Creative. It's like such a small group. They just keep going back and forth with each other.
Now, is Universal Creative, are they centered out of Florida?
They oh yeah, so yeah, their headquarters is in Florida, and they have I think it's just this tiny, maybe tiny office here in City Walk.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like a satellite office type of thing, but the main headquarters is in Florida, and I know because I've looked, and when I go on their um, applications for Imagineering, of course, it was Glendale, and for Creative, like 99 positions were in like Orlando, so that's probably what their head department is.
Yeah, so that's interesting because Disney, like I saw a lot of, well, we still see a lot of anger from Imagineers, because Disney's like moving a lot of that stuff over to Lake Nona, and a lot of, look, for whatever reason, maybe it would be political reasons or whatever. A lot of these Imagineers didn't want to move to Florida; they wanted to stay out here in Glendale. The
Mhm.
thing is like I mean, there's nowhere. I mean, okay, let's say you quit Disney, well, and you go to Universal, well, you're still going to Florida then. I mean, because Universal is
Yeah.
all in Florida too. So these Imagineers don't really have much of many options, really. I mean, if you want to work for the big two, you're going to be in Florida probably.
Probably. I still feel like the Lake Nona thing could have been handled better if it wasn't so sudden. I feel like they had a quick deadline, like do this or do this. But like, how much time do they have? Like just a few months to decide.
Yeah, they really rushed them through it.
I definitely feel like if they're gonna do that, then, I feel like it would have been much better well received if said, all right, so we're gonna build a new campus in Lake Nona. You have like maybe like a year to figure out. You want to come, you want to stay, and then maybe still say, hey, if you want to stay, here's like some kind of satellite office in Glendale or something. I feel like that whole thing was very rushed, and then it just caused a lot of backlash. I feel like if they Or if they just didn't say anything. Oh, I guess it's hard. I always say it's with Disney. If they didn't say anything, it could be hard, but it always gets out somewhere. But like, I'm sure when Universal did it, either they just built their headquarters there, or they just kind of did it and didn't say anything. I feel like it was just they just say, hey, put an internal thing, but those always get out anyway.
Well, it would have been fine if it was like, okay, there was a notice sent out to Imagineering. We want to build another Imagineering office in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We're recruiting to occupy that office, but it wasn't like done in this way like it was before. Like when Disney did it, it was like kind of like almost like they were giving ultimatums, right? It's like you either have to quit or you got to move. It would have been better, I think, handled if it would have been like, we're going to open this other office, but look, it's optional. If you want to move over there, great. If not, cool. And then they can start hiring like from the Florida area to occupy the bulk of that space, and then have people that wanted to move from California to Florida kind of voluntarily move over if they wanted to, and kind of handle it a little more with a little more bedside manner. It just felt like it was very like, look, you're either going to do this or out the door. It was like it was a little harsh, it was a little harsh.
Yeah, definitely harsh. And then, if they did that your way, then they just stopped hiring in the California office. Eventually, those people will all retire, and then you'll just be in Florida and after the process. So, maybe they'll try it again in round 2.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Bob Iger at that town hall said he hasn't really made a decision on that yet. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because from what I understand, the friend of the channel, Lorena Creole, I guess she lives like only a couple miles or something from the Lake Nona land that they're going to build the complex. And she's saying they haven't even started on it yet. They cleared the land, but that's it. They haven't done anything on Lake Nona.
Well, maybe that won't open before Tron still. You never know.
Yeah, probably. Everything's gonna open before Tron. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like I think Tron's started before our Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, and we built this elaborate e-ticket dark ride from the ground up behind Toontown.
And we had to demolish stuff.
To build that, and it's opening before Tron.
That's so funny. I mean, I might get married and have kids before Tron.
Your kids will be having kids before Tron's open.
That is so true. Like I swear, if they make any reason to delay it till 2024, I'm gonna start laughing in their faces. Also, can you imagine? I feel like no one really talks about this, but Disney World was out the railroad for 4 years or something.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Disneyland was out its railroad for 4 years? We were out for 1 year. It felt very different, but understandably so. People are kind of very upset. You got to go in there and be like, choo choo, as you walk into the arches. 4 years without the railroad. That's insane. That's could not be done here. I'm telling you.
No, you couldn't do that here. No, you couldn't do that here. You couldn't do that here. Now keeping it in the conversation on Universal, you texted me last night a very interesting thing, and I want to talk about this. This is about Super Nintendo World.
Let me while you do that, let me pull up the actual image from my video.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about this. This is fascinating.
My whole thing is being joyful.
Stop it. Okay. Stupid advertisement. All right, let's see. Oops. Technology sucks, doesn't it?
It does. I'm the same way, man. I'm not good at tech at all. That's why Vash Sky, man, he's the guru. He does it for us, and he's brilliant with it. Are you ready for me to share?
Yes.
Okay. And then perfect.
Perfect. All right. By the way, guys, if you want to subscribe, all you gotta do is go.
There it is.
Right there.
There it is. And then make sure you unmute it.
Yeah, and then hold on, wait, let me pop. That's Fast and Furious stuff. That's very curious. If anyone's curious, look, that's the new NBC Universal campus that's going to be done next year for the employees. Woo! Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really tall. It's like 9 stories and 11 stories, and they put the glass on it, and that's why when that's done, they'll be able to demolish some sound stages for more theme park expansion. Let's see.
Oh,
Okay, so here we go. The popcorn snacks area. Boop.
A Super Nintendo popcorn stand with drinks, popcorn, and snacks. Here's some of the
And
many
boom. So you got 20
items.
$20 for these collectible drink sippers. Which I don't know how much they are now, but I know it's not $20. Um, this is the same though, $4.25 and $5.50. But soda, as you see, is $12, which is a lot. I mean, you get this, but
yeah,
a soda, like wow, that's like
that's
that
steep.
would be $4.25 really on other places park. Unless this comes with alcohol or something. But very creative though. And then here's the popcorn bucket,
You got
which
the
is
Super Mushroom for $20. These are collectible drink sippers.
$40.
Right there. Fountain is $4.25. Cream bar is $5.50. You got the Fruity Cream Soda for $12.
Yeah, see that $12. That's steep. I mean, you get the straw, and I guess the cup and the straw with the little fake mustaches up. It's cute. It's cute, but I don't know, man. That's an awful lot of money for.
And then, but see, the popcorn bucket here, the Superstar, the Grinch. If you go right now, the Grinch popcorn bucket is $25. So this is a $15 increase. I'm not sure if this is probably just for Nintendo because you can think this is rumored to open on Monday. So I'm curious next time I go how many popcorn, because I see a lot of popcorn buckets with the Grinch and the other ones. So I'm curious when I go back if I'll see a lot of people carrying this Superstar popcorn bucket. That means I'll be like $40, $40, $40. I'm like, then paid off. But I'm curious if people will be like, whoa, that's like a lot. I don't know what popcorn cup is. I guess that's a smaller. Oh, that's just a regular thing of popcorn, I guess. But then
That's interesting that you brought that up, though. That the price gap between the Nintendo popcorn bucket and the Grinch popcorn bucket, you said like a $15 difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, man. If that was Disney, the fan community would be going ape shit. I mean, that would just be like the end of the world, right?
Yeah. Now, I know, like in Wizarding World, because I guess some of the profits may be split. It's expensive and it's because Harry Potter. So I'm curious. I'm sure Nintendo will be getting some of these profits, so maybe that's why they had to jack it up.
That's true.
But wow, I'm still like, wow, obviously you can refill and stuff. But I'm curious. I wonder if I'll see a lot of popcorn buckets because I see a lot on other Nintendo stuff that I don't think is actually that badly priced. I mean, I got a shirt that was like, I think like $25, which is
Not
like
bad.
the shirt.
That's not bad.
So I'm curious how many people are going to get these sodas and the snacks and these collectible drink sippers. Look, if you bought one of each, that's 46. That's $72.
Yeah, that's pricey. But I got
Nintendo stuff. You can't use your because it's so new. You can't use any discounts with their annual passes. So it's
really?
$72. Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if it's like you said, maybe it's like the deal with Nintendo or something that's preventing them from being able to do that.
Maybe, but I think because it's like so like new because I think they had something similar with Potter, but then now you can use your discount on Potter because it's been a while. I bet you'll be able to use your discount on Nintendo in like a year or two, but because it's so new and because the merch is flying off the shelves, they're probably like just buy it.
Well, and I can see why it's flying off the shelves. I mean, those little toad sippers are really cute. I mean, I would definitely rock one of those. I think those look really cool. Honestly, even the Superstar popcorn bucket, although it's very pricey, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. The only thing that I'm not really feeling are the cream soda things. I think that's kind of a little bit of a ripoff. But the bucket and the sippers the bucket and the toad sippers are really, really. I like those.
Yeah, the buckets. Universal has a pretty decent. I don't do any popcorn buckets for any place, but Universal is a pretty decent popcorn game, a popcorn bucket game. The last one they had, the Dia de los Muertos one, it was that skeleton, but then it lit up at night, so it looked really cool when you put it on. I know
cool.
Sean really liked his. And then they had the Grinch one was pretty cool. And then the Superstar looks pretty cool too. I wonder if that will light up. I feel like it would.
I think and maybe that's why it's so pricey too. If it lights up, that changes the game completely. Okay, now it makes sense. It's 40 because it lights up. Maybe I don't know.
But the Dia de los Muertos one was lights up, but that was also 25.
Oh, okay. I'll see. Yeah, that's iffy. That's iffy.
Very interesting. But the merchandise is pretty cool for all of it. They have a star-shaped pillow, right? And it transforms into like a towel or something. It's weird. It makes it seem like it's impossible, but it's possible. And you press it and it just transforms into a totally different item. I was like, wow,
What?
cool. I have to find it next time. And my friends got it. I was like, whoa, that's cool. He's like, yeah, look, you press it and it just transforms into totally different merch item. Like, wow.
Oh my god. See, if I was like, look, in the 80s, I was obsessed with Nintendo because when I was kind of growing up in like the heyday of Nintendo, where like in the 80s, like with the NES and the Super Nintendo and all that, right? Nintendo was like king of the world, and if this opened when I was a kid, I would have went absolutely bonkers for this. I mean, this would have like I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Okay, I mean, this would have been insane. And it's interesting, actually, because the only thing that we really had when I was a kid, like a physical thing for Nintendo that I can remember, was at my local mall. They had a Capcom store that you can go in. And it wasn't even Nintendo. It was Capcom.
I remember that.
It was Capcom, yeah. And they ended up getting rid of it. And now it's a Cinnabon over at Northridge Mall. It's a Cinnabon.
Oh, I know that Cinnabon.
Yeah, but it was a Capcom store years ago, like back in the 80s. I used to love going in there. But I'm telling you, I mean, if I was a kid when this thing opened, this Mario Land, I would have absolutely loved the hell out of it. I think it's going to do very well. I think that's going to be very, very popular. Hopefully they expand it. Like you're hearing rumors, Ethan, like they're gonna do the Donkey Kong coaster for this, like it's part of an expansion possibility and all that.
Yeah, we're thinking it's going by the Mummy in 2025. That should open, hopefully. Because I mean, look at it. I mean, look at it. Look at this. It's someone's never seen it before. Look at that. Look at that. All that kinetic energy.
It's crazy.
Like that's cool. And look, the shell's even spin. If this thing wasn't so bad, the shell would even be spinning, and there's spell spinning as it's moving. Like wowee! And then there's another segment here. Let's see. Hold on. It's right. More Fast and Furious stuff. Let's see. Where is it? No. Where's the? Oh yeah. See right there. I couldn't get. You see the lighting effects in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
And that's the entrance to the land, right?
Yeah, that's the entrance. And then you see there's. Why is this Wi-Fi so bad? Yeah. So see, there's all these different the little lighting effects. Wow,
that's pretty cool.
And then you pop in, and then there's an exit which is by the Jurassic World bathrooms, which is good because otherwise it'd be pretty small.
This is interesting. Now, are you going on opening day, Ethan?
Oh, I'll be there. Opening day, soft opening day, post opening day. I'll be there for a whole week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now you mentioned, okay, to kind of circle back a little bit. You mentioned the Donkey Kong coaster. Did you say it was going to replace the Mummy or be next to the Mummy?
Yeah, it's looking to replace the Mummy in 2 sound stages, from what I've heard and seen. And the Mummy is scheduled to close either after Horror Nights 2023 or the summer of 2024, if all goes according to plan.
That would be a smart move, because the Mummy ride here in Hollywood is sort of like what our Tower of Terror was, where it was like diet version of the one in Florida.
Mhm.
They can get rid of the Mummy. Donkey Kong, from what I'm hearing, the concept sounds phenomenal, and I think that that's a much better use of that space. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it'll be great. I'm still not sure how they're gonna the connection. I guess it's pretty. I guess they can figure out a way. The connection between Donkey Kong and the actual Mario or Super Nintendo world, maybe like a tunnel or something. But because they'll be on opposite sides of each other with Transformers smack in the middle of them. But I'm sure they'll find a way to do
They'll
that.
figure it out.
But I'm
Now-
curious because see, don't forget, guys, if you want to visit Mario World, get a platinum pass. You'll have to have a reservation for several months. But if you have a platinum pass, you don't need a reservation after 3 p.m. So get a platinum pass right now because it's gonna increase in price next year. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it.
Well, and this Wizard is very, very knowledgeable about Universal. Like, if anyone watching has any kind of plans to visit Hollywood for the Nintendo World opening, hit this guy up on Twitter, theme_wizard.
That's
He
right.
he knows his stuff. And if you're planning a trip, this is your guy. Absolutely.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. It's gonna soft open in January. You better be there. March 10th. You'll be there for the grand opening right after you visit Toontown 2 days earlier.
Now, Ethan, let's pivot a little bit. Speaking of Toontown, we're gonna talk a little Disney now. You mentioned a lot on your show, and I agree with you on this. Like, you're frustrated like I am, right? Like, you talk a lot about, as you call them, crazy Disney people, right?
That's right, the crazy Disney people.
Yeah, and look, I'm a Disney person. I love Disney. I'm part of this fandom. But look, sometimes we have to, look inward as a fandom and understand that sometimes we are nuts, right? Sometimes there is weirdness going on. So Ethan, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fandom, and let's talk about like the Disney fandom specifically, the Disney park fandom. Like, what are your takeaways? Like, when you say crazy Disney people, like, what are you referring to? What's bringing you to this conclusion, basically?
No, the crazy Disney people are the people that were getting mad over the design of the new popcorn bucket. Okay, these people are crazy. You have to have constructive criticism to your Disney park, whatever park, and not just complain about everything, or else you'll get the line that Chapek said that what do you say? Basically, that online people don't matter or something, or just a small group. Yeah, because they just keep talking and talking and talking about stupid stuff and complain about everything. Everything. I'm surprised no one's complaining about Toontown. I'm shocked that. Like, wow, at least I haven't seen anyone complain about Toontown. I think it looks pretty cool. But I'm sure someone will complain about it one day. And I'm sure someone will complain about Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. I didn't see a lot of people complain about San Francisco and California mentioned either. Interesting. Wow, there's a lot of confusion, but I mean, not like complaints.
Well, you make a great point though, Ethan, is that like, I think as a fandom, we need to sort of pick our battles. I think that when Disney looks at Twitter and they see a bunch of complaining over like, I don't know, like a popcorn bucket or the paint scheme on a popcorn cart or something, and you see these like really trivial, meaningless complaints, and it's like loud too. It's not like here and there. It's like the entire community is outraged over this little stuff. It really does tarnish the fandom's credibility. And when something big happens that is worthy of our voice and our complaining, then Disney is already to the point where they're like tuning us out, because you've had like 17 bullshit complaints leading up to the actual justified complaint, right? And look, that's why they don't listen to us. I mean, we even heard it on the Imagineering story on Disney Plus. Kim Irvine, she says she got like all kinds of like death threats and craziness for changing. Yeah, terrible, disgusting behavior for simply putting IP in Small World. It's like, come on, fandom. And then you wonder why they don't listen to you. Because we come off like we're loonies.
And then the exact line that the Chapek said about moving the popcorn can't stand 10 feet. He's talking about what do you say? Something about he's like, oh yeah, our super fans, they notice when you with popcorn thing 10 feet. I'm like, oh man, that's right. They would complain about something like that. I totally got what he was saying.
Oh yeah, no. Chapek probably had like a secret Twitter account that we didn't know about. And he was following Diz Twitter for sure. He knew a little too much about how we operate.
And then you notice when he said that, he went back on Diz and everyone offended. I was like, see, you should be offended because he's right. You would complain that over the small trivial. That's what he's saying. They stop playing over these small trivial things, like moving popcorn stand 10 feet.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And look here, I'll be completely upfront. I'll probably get a lot of heat for saying this, but there's this kind of like false conception out there, like misconception, like the fans are always right? Like your customer is always right. That's not true. And I can point to a couple examples. Number one, I remember the fans when they announced Mission Breakout, the entire community in a loud chorus for almost a year from the announcement until the day Mission Breakout opened were complaining, we don't need this. We didn't ask for this. This is garbage. This is trash. They were completely going after this idea of transforming Tower into Mission Breakout. The minute it opened, they all shut up. They were wrong. They were wrong. The customer wasn't right. I mean, we got, I think, a better attraction in Mission Breakout than we had with our Tower of Terror Light, our Diet Tower, right? Another example, if you want to talk film, is Avatar: Way of Water. Since the last one opened, all we heard from film fandom and everybody on Twitter was nobody cares about Avatar. No one's asking for more Avatar. This thing now is like crushing it. It's like people are like obsessed with how good this thing is. I'm seeing the reviews for this thing. It's like the most amazing visuals. It's an incredible movie. It's already made like 12 or 13 million in pre-sales, and it's still a week away from the premiere. So yeah, no one asked for it, fandom, and here we are. Way of Water is completely killing it, and it's getting great reviews. So sometimes the fans don't. Just because you didn't ask for it doesn't mean that the thing shouldn't exist. Because sometimes the thing you don't ask for might actually turn out to be pretty good. Way of Water and Mission Breakout are two shining examples of that. The customer is not always right. Sometimes we got to back off and have a little open mind until we experience it ourselves.
Yeah. See, I was definitely one of those Tower of Terror people. I was like, what? No way! Oh my, I'm so heartbroken. And then, only because, in the description, it originally said something about fun music. I'm like, this is not supposed to be fun music. It's supposed to be scary. And I'm like, why? And then I got on it and I was like, wow, they actually did a pretty good job on this thing. Now, you're right. I like it better than Tower. It took me a while to admit it internally. But I was like, man, you know what? At first, it was like, they're even. Then I was like, okay. Then I went on Monsters After Dark. I'm like, okay, now it's better. I was like, wow. This thing is great. I love it. It's still my favorite ride. And
it's a fantastic ride. And it was a smart move because, like I said, we always had that diet version of Tower of Terror. And now we have our own thing. DCA has its own thing now. It doesn't have to be compared constantly to the, the Hollywood Studios Tower. I think it was a really smart move. I really do. Now, here's one thing also, Ethan, because you're really connected with Universal, right? And I will say this, like in terms of the fandoms, the Universal fandom is more fun. I got to be real, at least from what I see. Like, I don't see a lot of the nit.
Or they just don't care as much. I don't know. Either one. They just don't say anything. Except only really good things, except for what's coming. Like, yes. Oh, I can't wait. Like semi-Universal connected. They at the Game Awards recently, they released that new Mario clip from the movie. And all I heard was great things about it. I was like, first of all, it looked great.
Yeah, it does.
Can we talk about that Mario clip real quick? Wait a second. there's like the musical score, and it makes me feel like I was playing the game. I'd love that. If the movie's like that, like I'm playing the game, I'm gonna have a blast, and it's gonna make like a $1,000,000,000.
Oh, it
But
will. This movie's gonna do. It's gonna hit $1 billion. I mean, this movie looks so good, like so good.
incredible. But yeah, see, you only see like really good stuff. I mean, there's certain things, and like the Disney fandom, crazy Disney people should be doing. The complaints I hear about Universal are pretty valid. The number one of them is the restraints thing with the
Right.
hype department,
Right.
and maybe you'd say more family attractions. But I don't hear anyone complain about a popcorn bucket or merchandise or anything like that. Only about like valid things. When I do,
Right.
I'm like, oh, keep it up. And that's why. And then what happens? Remember, everyone's complaining. Universal's too many screen rides. What happens now? Most recently, all the rides, most of them have been non-screen based, so they
It's true.
listen to you. So, see,
True.
the crazy fandom, this Twitter people, if you actually just complain about not random, but good things once in a while, Disney may listen to you, like Universal listened to its people.
You got to be constructive. I see people tagging Bob Iger, and tagging Bob Iger on Twitter is actually a good thing if you're constructive and you're polite. Because I think it's good to tag him and let him know.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see people tagging like Bob Iger with these nasty, vile stuff, I'm like, he's just gonna tune you out or block you. Like, you have to, if you want change in the Walt Disney Company, you're gonna have to show the higher ups like Bob Iger that we are not lunatics. Stop acting like we're living in what's that insane asylum in Batman
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, stop acting like we're all residents in Arkham Asylum and start like, let's be constructive here, and they'll listen more. And Universal, to their credit, they do that because their fandom isn't like crazy with this stuff. And I think you're right, Ethan. I think the Universal fandom just has more fun. I think Disney has sort of become like a religious experience for a lot of fans. It's like this, almost like this religious level kind of thing. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's like the old saying, right? You don't talk about politics or religion at the dinner table. Well, you can add Disney to that too, I think. Disney, politics, Disney, and religion.
Crazy. And see, then the only bad thing about it is because, a lot of the Disney people, Disney fans, Disney people like Disney, actually are pretty calm, I say. But because we're so calm, you don't hear us, they don't speak. So it gives a louder voice to the small group of people, Disney fans, that speak. And then you get these crazy terms. My most hated term, I hate this term because I like the term, but I hate the way it's used, and it's Disney adult. I feel like when people say it turns into an insult. I don't like that. Like, it shouldn't be an insult. And come on. So you go to Universal and adult. What are you, a uni adult? Like, no one says that, or Six Flags adult. That's because people say Disney adult. People are basically saying crazy Disney people or Disney super obsessed people in a nice way, but they use it in a derogatory term, and I hate that because I don't mind Disney being a Disney adult. Like, I feel like it's just, you just go to adult Disney whenever you want, no matter who you are.
Well, and here's the thing, Ethan, too. You're absolutely correct, and I see a lot of these conservative pundits, right? Mm-hmm. I see a lot of it from that side, right? And believe me, I get on the progressives too, so I'm not just singling out conservatives, but I see a lot of these conservative pundits like, oh, these Disney adults, they're weirdos, they're like they're like 30 years old living in their mom's basement, and they're all these beta males and all this stuff, and I'm like, that's not true. Like, first of all, having fun at a theme park or appreciating themed architecture or things like that, having a curious mind is something that adults can definitely partake in, and I think I encourage it. I see nothing wrong with enjoying theme parks as like art, as appreciating architecture and story and what have you, or just having fun with your friends and family, I just see nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you a loser at all. So for these conservative pundits to get out there and start like kind of, like this Jack, I think his name is Jack Pacific, I think his name is, he's constantly talking shit about Disney adults. I'm like, come on, let people have fun. Let them do what they want to do, And look, here's the other thing. Look, if you were asked these same people, what's an adult activity that we could do, right? What can we do as adults? Well, you can go to sports games. Oh, well, sports games. Do you see how people act in the stands at sports games? I mean, they're wearing big like foam cheese hats, and they got their shirts off and their nipples painted, and like, oh, that's the adult thing to do. Okay, but you go to a Disney park and wear mountains,
crying over their team winning or losing.
Right, right,
like
exactly.
They cry over an amazing attraction, like same thing.
Same thing, You never make fun of someone for their passion. I think that's really below the belt. You never make fun of someone for their passion. But look, I mean, I think that there's nothing wrong with being a Disney adult, but I can also concede that hey, look, as a Disney family, so to speak, right? We got some weirdos. We got some weirdos for sure. But every fandom has weirdos. Every fandom.
Think about it. If adults didn't go to Disneyland with their kids, if Disneyland was supposed to be full of families and kids, think about what it would turn into, right? Because I know a theme park that's filled with mostly teenagers. And there's adults, but it's mostly groups of teenagers. You know what that place is? It's called Six Flags. Every time I go, a lot of teenagers. And if you can't be a Disney adult and you only want the park filled with teenagers, well, that's what you're going to get. Rowdy teenagers of that type of behavior. And then people are like, oh my gosh, didn't he turn so non-family friendly? Well, it's because you said adults couldn't go there, And these places, right. I mean, also, kids are great, but they don't pay a lot of money. They don't make money. These places are built for adults. I mean, for families, but who spends the money? The adults, the family of four. The Orange Grove, the Ethan, the Dre. We have the money to spend. A 14-year-old doesn't have $100 to spend or to buy Lightning Lane or Genie Plus all over again. So you got these places. All places are built for adults who are paying jobs. So they may be for kids, but trust me, they're targeting the adult crew.
Absolutely,
theme parks, but every place.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I'll be the first to say it and criticize our community for really some wacky behavior. But when these people come after Disney fans, kind of like you said, like insulting them with the Disney adult moniker and all that, and kind of using it in a real derogatory way, that's why I draw the line. I'm like, no, don't do that, because look, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Disney. Walt Disney was an incredible man who really did change the world, and there's nothing wrong with loving and respecting what he created, what he started, and what continues to occur because of that. There's nothing wrong with that. And if anyone tells you otherwise, here, you know what? I think Cat Williams, I think he says it perfectly when it comes to haters, right? Ethan, I think you know where I'm going with this. Here we go.
You gotta be grateful. You need haters. What the fuck is you complaining about? What the fuck do you think a hater's job is? To fucking hate. So let them motherfuckers do their goddamn job.
There we go. So you know what, Disney adults, you love Disney. You keep going, but don't let the haters get you down.
And also movies too. Just because it's a kids movie, and again, the kids don't make the money to spend on it. So that's why those kids movies, or any animated movie. I hate when people say, like my friend one time, I was talking about Encanto last year. I went with someone to see Encanto. I was like, oh yeah, I'm seeing this with my friend. And my other friend was like, oh, so she's a child? I'm like, no, it's just a Disney movie. Funny, that same friend that said that was jumping up and down the surface pressure and made her boyfriend watch it over again. Then she loved Encanto. I was like,
my God.
Just because it's an animated movie doesn't mean animated doesn't equal kids movie.
No.
First of all. And second of all, there's always some, even in the Shrek, there's always like adult undertones, right? These jokes, because this be appealing to everybody, because again, the kids can't spend the money, so make the movie. Most of these anime things are appealing to adults in some capacity, because that's the only way they're gonna get the money for the box office.
Exactly. 100%. 100%, Ethan. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. You know, this whole thing with the fandom and stuff. Hopefully the fandom can kind of calm down a little bit with the outraged over everything kind of culture, and we can kind of get into more constructive
I think
critiques.
they're gonna love Mickey and Minnie's. I think it's gonna be completely no complaints.
Oh, I hope so. From your lips to God's ears, Ethan. From your lips to God's ears.
Because, I mean, the one in Florida looks great. I'm very excited. I have my opening day reservation. I'll be there with my virtual queue.
Yes.
I'm ready to go. I know someone's gonna be like, "Oh gosh, virtual queue," but you know, the whole land's not open. You can't squeeze all those people in there. So expect one, and just deal with it, because this will be great.
You're going on opening day, Ethan.
January 27th. You're there.
Maybe you'll see Daddy Josh.
Maybe I'll see Daddy Josh and charismatic Iger.
Maybe you never know. You never know. Mr. Wizard, Ethan, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. You know you are family here at OG55. We love you, sir. If you can let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media and your merch store and all that good stuff.
You can find me on YouTube on Theme Park Wizard, Twitter's at theme_wizard, and Instagram at theme_park_wizard. And check out all the holiday merch with 20% off at themeparkwizard.shop. 20% off through January 8th when the holidays end.
Yes.
Oh, wow. He can't be drinking and flying like that.
No, but while he was drinking and flying, he just subscribed to Theme Park Wizard.
Oh, hell yeah, he did. I won't have to call the cops on him now.
But thank you so much, Wizard, for coming on. We love you, brother. And thank you all for watching. Comment down below with all your thoughts on Super Nintendo World, crazy Disney fans, Universal fans, you know, this new Minion Blast kind of not really walk through, but kind of I don't know.
It's move through.
Yeah, attraction. Your comments and thoughts on that. We'd love to hear from you. Comment down below. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day.